What's going on, guys? Monero Matteo. Welcome all the new subscribers who had watched our Haven interview, and goodness, did that really become a lot more popular than I thought it was going to be. Frankly, I just reached out to the team because I was curious about the project, and the quickest way that I could download some good intel is by just talking straight with the people, So I thought it'd be valuable to our people, but I didn't know it would really spark this Renaissance type fervor in the Haven community, and that's great. Somebody had reached out to me, and somebody was nice enough to donate some Haven. Thank you so much. I don't even put my Haven address down there, but he asked for it, so I gave it to him. But he said that with everything going on in the community, there was some bearishness, there was some negative sentiment, and I guess the interview sparked some morale, it sparked some positivity. So I'm glad that I could do that. I didn't know I was doing that, to be frank. I thought I was just having a nice chat with someone who turned out to be pretty knowledgeable, intelligent, and articulate. So Hawk, continue to do what you do, man. I really enjoyed our conversation. So we're happy to have the Haven community as part of a new group. I guess I'll call the Freedom Coin Covenant. I thought about this, right? I was working on putting our content up on Podbean. I don't know if you guys have ever used that before. Pretty cool name, Podbean, right? But we're on there. Hopefully we'll be on Apple and Spotify soon. But I was working on the description, and I was like, okay, well, what do we do? Because my description wasn't that good. So I'm like, okay, well, first off, we're Monero first. I don't think that's going to change. I think most of us in the Freedom Coin sector follow Monero, and we see that as sort of like the tip of the spear for this movement for freedom and to escape the mark of the beast system, which is really what I kind of see this global blockchain thing turning into. But I thought for a sec, I'm like, so it could be that if we bring all the Freedom Coins together as one unified front, we could really do a lot more good than otherwise. Because I feel like when we're all segregated and we're all potted off from each other, we can't be as effective. And so I think with all of us coming together to make a push for freedom collectively and to make an effort to synergize our collective efforts to really accomplish what we're all trying to accomplish, which is freedom, which is liberty for humankind, I think that is something that would be much more positive. You have maximalists in every community, as we were talking to Hawk about, but I think that most of us are actually on the side of just, trying to work for a higher pursuit. All right, I'm at a fork in the road. Let me see where I'm supposed to go here. Champion Creek. Yes, that's where we are. A creek for champions. Creek for the Monero bros, right? But man, I just felt really good today. I thought about honestly taking a week off because I need to work on my catechumen. I need to work on getting right with the church. And I missed liturgy last week because I've just been working so hard on trying to get this thing off the ground. But I need to get back in tune with that, because when I don't go to church and when I don't work on my edification for understanding the faith better, or just praying as much, right? I'm trying to pray every day, but my mind is just always racing as to the content we need to get out there, because there's just so much happening, right? There's like 20 videos I can make right now that I just don't have the time. And I wish I had like employees to like do a lot of this extra tedious stuff, making thumbnails and uploading the content and all this other stuff. And it's good because on Odyssey, I'm syncing the YouTube channel up, so that should make it a little bit easier. But ultimately, I mean, just a few things to put on y'all's radar. Looks like MasterCard, who we've talked about before. If you haven't seen our MasterCard video, that's really informative. It'll give you some good context as to what's going on in the world. They're working with global central banks. They've got like 100 blockchain patents. A lot of the people on that board are part of the Trilateral Commission, CFR, United Nations. And so, yeah, this stuff goes pretty deep. And now they're working on carbon credit cards. So they're going to have these cards which are going to track what the carbon footprint of that which you purchase has. And apparently the card reaches its limit, kind of like your credit limit, right? When you have too much carbon being emitted from the activities that you engage in economically with the card, or something to that effect. Does that make sense? So if like you buy too many things which cause too much carbon emission with your MasterCard, they shut you off. Or at least that's the idea. And they're saying, oh, this is just theoretical. This is just to show you how much you're polluting the planet and stuff like that. We're not going to, put this into regulation or anything like that, which you can guarantee it will, because they're working with these guys who are part of the 2030 vision. And if you don't know what the United Nations thing is for that, there's like this 2030 initiative, Agenda 2030. And everybody knows it by that like simpy looking guy who's like smiling, and it's like, you'll own nothing and be happy, right? And so it's all part of that movement that's going on. We're going to make a video on that later. And then you've got CipherTrace. This just came out of the CoinDesk. CipherTrace has been using Wallet Explorer to link people's Bitcoin wallets to their IP addresses. So again, I see people commenting on this stuff and they're bullish Bitcoin. And there's a great tweet by one of our friends, Trace Evader, if you're still tuning into our videos, shout out to you, man. Your feed is awesome. Go follow him on Twitter. He's got some really good takes. But he's like, if I see one more person who's got Bitcoin and then privacy is a human right in their bio, I'm going to throw up, right? I'm going to quit and move to the jungle, which isn't a bad idea. It's beautiful here in the jungle, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is so not private, and it's so surveillance-y. We call it a surveillance coin, right? It's so not private that, yes, your IP can be tracked. Yes, they can figure out just about everything there is to know about you. They can figure out your spending habits. And Twitter, this just came out today, is now going to link your Bitcoin address to your social media profile. Now, it's going to be voluntary. You could opt into this if you want to. And people will be able to send Lightning Network payments to each other. And I guess it's going to work like if you like somebody's comment, maybe that's like a penny, right? It's going to be like kind of like Odyssey with those LBY tokens. If you like somebody's content, you give them a little bit of that LBY token. And so it could be something like that, except for Bitcoin on the Lightning Network. And so now they're going to have your ID, your social media feed, and everything you say linked up with your crypto. And again, we've talked about this on the channel. This is what's coming, guys. They're going to link Bitcoin and blockchain to social credit scores, to international tax systems, which are embedded into computer code, which are interoperable with public blockchains. We've talked about that before in our tax, AI, and blockchain video. I got to make like an update to that video because it's long and I was tired when I made it. So I'll probably like come out with something that's a little bit more concise that goes over that so that people can understand how just really important that is. And then artificial intelligence is going to play into that as well. So all this stuff is coming together, guys. It's all coming together. And we see this coming, which is why we are part of the Monero First Movement, the Freedom Coin Covenant. We're trying to get people off of this new Mark of the Beast system, which I think is coming. And there's a lot of debris here on this trail. I don't even know if this is the trail anymore. Look at this. Beautiful, right? Beautiful. Crikey. You'll love it. And to my guy who sent me the GoPro, or sent me the pirate chain so that I could get the GoPro, thank you. I was putting it together today, and it turns out I need an SD card. Now, you guys know me. I'm not a tech whiz, right? So I didn't know I needed one of those. So I have that ordered. That's on the way too. One day, my friend, one day we will be out here with our GoPro. And perhaps we'll do some skydiving. We'll talk about Monero too. 10,000 feet in the air. We'll do some cool stuff. But crazy times we live in, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy times. What else is going on? There was another story too which caught my attention. I believe that it is no longer on my mind. Again, there's just so much going on. But, yeah, man. It's good to be out in nature and kind of away from that madness. If you guys just watch our videos, you see what's coming, you probably don't even need me to tune you in every day on all the developments that are taking place. Because it looks like they're making their move. It looks like CeeLo, looks like Quant, looks like Chainlink, and a lot of these other coins, which are going to be integrated into the new blockchain world order, are moving to the top. They're gaining a lot of ground. And you see coins like Monero not doing so hot, moving out down the ranks. And I wanted to talk about that real quick too. And not break my back going down this hill. I think that marketing Monero as a privacy coin is not going to get the job done. I was not attracted to Monero because I wanted to be private. Clearly, I am on YouTube and I'm showing my face, and people apparently know my last name. And I guess that comes from my email. If you get in contact with me via email, you can see my last name, and I don't even care at this point. Again, because privacy ain't that big a deal to me. And in this world, right, where the intelligence agencies, the governments, and everybody like that can figure out everything about you, like, just try this out one time. Like, break your leg and call 911. You won't have to tell them where you are. They'll just come to you. They know where you are. So, yeah, you could try to be private, but it's rather difficult. And it's okay to, have your finances be somewhat private. But, like, the whole point here, guys, is freedom and liberty. And it's not just about you being private. Like, when you make it individual centric, like, you can be private, you can be off the grid, you can not have people track and trace your payments. That's not the idea, right? The idea is to build networks between each other so that we could pay each other and so that we can engage in commerce outside of this crazy system that they're setting up, so that we could have a chance to onboard people onto the ARRR, right? That's why we're calling it the Freedom Coin Covenant. It's an ARRR. It's a way to get people off the mark of the beast system, right? And so that, I think, is a better selling point. Having people think that it's just a privacy coin and, I'll just use this when I'm using the dark web, right? That is not the best selling point. And yes, I've seen people respond to me saying this on Twitter, saying like, privacy is essential to freedom. People use this stuff when they realize they need it. And it's just like, dude, no. And yes, I do believe that privacy is essential to freedom. There's no doubt about that. But you got to make a bigger, morally charged, spiritually charged case, which is, I think, what we're trying to do here on this channel. You guys know very well, I love Christ. I think that Christ and crypto together is the way to go, linking those two. And I heard Jay Dyer talking about this on a stream that he was doing. Again, go follow Jay Dyer. He's really key. He was saying that the two main groups of people who understand what's going on in this world are Christians and Satanists. And I think it's true. Like, you have to understand, guys, this is a spiritual battle. This is a group of people, namely us, who believe in natural law, who believe in God's law, who believe that the law of man is to be subordinated to the law of God. We've read a book in our Sunday streams called The Law of God. Go check those streams out. Pretty key. But it's between that and people who want to use the law of man to control the people who would otherwise follow the law. Like case-selected people, high IQ people. They want to use the law, and they want to use your intention to follow law and to be a good boy to lead you in single file line into the abyss, into hell. And these Satanists, like, when you call them out and you say, you're being hypocritical, you're being evil, like, they relish in that. They love that. And I'm just so tired of, watching news shows, which I need to do less, admittedly, where they're like, look at these people on MSNBC and CNN, they're being so hypocritical. Can you believe it? It's just like, yeah, of course I can believe it. They're Satanists. Like, even if they don't know they're Satanists, they are. And I was talking to a listener of our show about this. He's a fan of Mark Passio. I think he's got some great key content. they are, I think, at the highest levels, people involved in the occult. And you look at, you know, people who are involved in Freemasonic activity, which has been going on ever since the start of the country. You look at people who are involved in these secret societies. These are the people who run your country, right? It's like George Bush and John Kerry were both running against each other back in 2004. What people didn't know is they were both part of the same secret society in college. They were part of the same Skull and Bones secret order. And like, these people run your country. These people run your world. And I think that there is reasonable evidence to conclude that they are part of the occult. And so, what is this all about? What does this mean? It means that if you love God, and mind you guys, don't fall into the trap of hating these people. Don't fall into the trap of having these negative emotions come upon you, and don't be defeated by the amount of hypocrisy, because there's a great quote: hell is a place where there is no reason. And when you see all these people out there in the media, you see all these people out there who are just acting totally irrationally. They're like, oh, my body, my choice, but get the job or you're going to lose your job, right? Don't play into that stuff, man. It's going to stress you out. Logic isn't their game. And we don't live in a society anymore where people debate using scholastic reasoning or, you know, the Socratic method or things like this, right? That's not the way this works. You know why? Because this is a spiritual war. You have to be right with God. You've got to love God, and you've got to do good. You've got to speak the truth. That's all you got to do. Like, don't get angry. Don't get hateful. Don't fall into fear. That's not what we do here. We just speak the truth, and we guide people to the light. And no matter what dark forces, no matter what demons get in our way, hey, see ya. God be with you. Lord, they know not what they do. But hopefully, us speaking the truth and us being good and us being right with God is enough. And if it's not enough, well then, we'll let God do the rest. And I think that is the best message that I could leave you with today. Go check out your local Orthodox church, guys. And guys, go to a Russian Orthodox church. I always say Orthodox, but let me specify. Go to a Russian Orthodox church. And I know that we have some Catholic listeners, some Presbyterian listeners. I love you all, okay? You guys are great. We may have some theological differences, but ultimately, you know, enemy of my enemy is my friend, something like that. And I'm not saying you guys are my enemy or anything like that. Trust me. But for all of you who are on the fence about your faith and just are maybe in one of those places where you don't know what to think about all that stuff, maybe you're just curious, go check out your local Russian Orthodox church or Serbian Orthodox church. The Antiochians do a pretty good job too. The Greeks are Calypsos. Well, you may want to choose the Russians instead of them. Let me just put it that way. The Greek Archbishop just came out and he said he's not going to be signing any religious exemption passes, nor can the clergy. All religious exemption passes for the stabby are not to be accepted as valid, according to the Archbishop of the Greek Orthodox Church. So that kind of tells you where they're at. And hey, dude, you were waiting for me, weren't you? You wanted me to be your lunch. Well, that would have been a nice Thanksgiving, but moving on. Little spider thought he was going to get me. Anyways, check out a Russian Orthodox church, guys. I think you'll really love it. I think you'll really find some good spiritual energy there. And become a catechumen. Learn more. Because after digging down the rabbit hole for as many years as I have done down the rabbit hole, trying to understand how this world works, looking into cosmology and quantum physics and even quantum biology, where, you know, the sunlight takes in leaves take in photons, and then they
share that photonic energy throughout the mitochondria of the cells through quantum teleportation.
It's been a while since I've looked into it. That doesn't make any sense. But like, there was so much stuff that I looked into. You know, Stuart Hemmeroff and Roger Penrose ORR theory I thought was interesting. I looked into neuroscience. I looked into the constructal laws we talked about in one of those Patreon videos that we do for our guys, which, by the way, if you aren't a Patreon, please become a patron. I just ordered some stickers for our patrons. So I'll be giving you guys that. If you want to, you know, give me your address or give me an address to send stuff to. I know that a lot of you guys are private. But I got stickers. Got some Monero stickers coming in. And if you become of a certain tier, I will answer any question that you want. I'll do a video response to it, and we'll dig into it. Any question you want to ask me, I will dig into it. I'll do some research, or maybe I'll just give you an honest take. And it's a way to support the channel. It's a way to keep our operations going, to keep the truth flooding out into the world like a tsunami and like a rippling supernova of awesome, radiant goodness. Please support the channel. And please check the addresses below. I've got Dero, Pirate Chain, Monero, even Bitcoin, but you guys know where that's going once I get it. But yes, please support us. We do some really good work here. I think we're spreading out some good juju. And so, that being said, guys, this is sort of a feel-good walk that we're doing here. It's like a clear blue sky. It's like 70 degrees. God is good. God has been really good. So, that said, more videos coming, more content coming. Just be on the lookout for me maybe taking a break for a couple days just because I need to continue to read the law of God. I'm working on my baptism right now so I could get into the Orthodox Church officially. Even though I've been a catechumen for about a year, I need to continue on that path. But yes, that's all I have to say. This is Monero Matteo. God bless all of you. And may our movement for freedom and liberty and goodness in Christ continue to grow. That said, follow me on the links. Again, those are in the comments description below. Check us out on Telegram. We've got some pretty base takes there. Twitter, Gab, Odyssey especially, and the rest. Patreon. Yes, become a patron. Remember, that's it. Bye-bye.